When will I ever get to drive these things?
Hey! What's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Heat Boys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles MechaTran series, Leonardo. So here we are, and there he is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. This is a very large box, as you can see. Right up front, we have a nice big image of Leonardo, the MechaTran series. On this side we have Leonardo. On this side we have Leonardo. On top we have, hey look, Leonardo. On the bottom, Leonardo. On the back of the box we have obligatory product shots. He does this, that, the other, things and stuff and things. You got QR codes if you want to scan them. Go ahead, scan them. Warning, don't eat anything in this box. That could be very, very bad for you. And that is basically it for the packaging. And moving right along, here we have the MechaTran Leonardo from Heat Boys. And first and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to the good people at bombusbee.net for sending this my way to take a look at. Thank you so much. So, I've been reviewing Heat Boys Ninja Turtles figures since they've started coming out. We're still waiting on Donatello, but they've been fantastic figures. And of course, there have been people looking at those turtle mechs and saying, man, it'd be really cool if they could transform. And Heat Boys said, hold my beer. Because now they are giving us transformable turtle mechs. And this is the first in this line. We have Leonardo, the leader of the team. And quite the cool figure here. Not without its little issues, but still a cool figure nonetheless. But let's get in close here so we can take a look not at that turtley crotch, but at the noggin. Whoop, there's the noggin. As you can see, it's a very mecha Leonardo noggin there. With the blue bandana, of course we have those tampograph details. Heat Boys love those tampograph details. You can see the bandana. This part of the bandana is actually done in a fabric with a little posable wire. Not a fan of the posable wires, but, you know, they're good for as long as they last. Just don't mess with them too much. But take a look at the front shell here. It looks very nice. Again, the paint apps are always very nicely done. Nice and crisp. Big L there on the buckle. The blue elbow pads. And little wristbands and all that. Again, some more little tampographies here and there. And moving on the body. Again, some nice coloration. I love the different shades of blue also. Just gives it a nice contrast. I really dig that. And some toesies. Some mecha toesies. You can see some wheels poking out there for the transformation. There's the back. And you got a big old shell back here. A very big shell. But big old shell there with some bits of gold. Well, oh no. Yay. Good looking turtleneck Leonardo. Now, articulation-wise, what have we got? I'm gonna tell you. So I think the head, it feels like the head can move a little bit from side to side. I don't know if that's just some play in the joint, but it seems like there's a little bit of tiltage there. He can look up, he can look down a lot. Head can rotate. Can do a full 360. Just be mindful of things. But just rotate that around. Like so. The arms can rotate, can do a full 360. You also have a joint, a little butterfly joint there that allows the shoulder to move in and out. You can move this shoulder pad out of the way. You can get outward movement, go all the way up if you want. And you have bicep rotation. You have a double jointed elbow, but it doesn't really give you too much. You don't get a full bend out of it, but still more than 90 degrees. As far as the wrist, you do have wrist rotation. You have these hinges that allow the hand to move up and down. You do have posable fingies here. The thumb is on hinge at the base. That moves up and down. Then you have a hinge right here. And his two turtley fingers are just one piece with a hinge at the base and hinges there. So, moving on down, we don't have any waist articulation just due to how all this transforms. There's no waist rotation, but legs can move forward that far, only back about that far before the shell gets in the way. Outward, we get almost a full splits. We get thigh rotation, Again, we have a double jointed knee, but just due to kind of stuff that's back there for transformation, we only get a little over 90 degrees. As far as the feet, you do have a little bit of a toe joint that moves up. The feet cannot move down, but the toes can move up and down. You do have rotation, and you have ankle tiltage. Now, as far as accessories go, we get these two big old guns here. And very cool design with the big old bayonet at the end there, done in a nice silver. The rest are done in gunmetal gray and black. We got some bits of gold in there as well. We have the section here that can rotate from side to side. This is basically for weapon storage. But, oh no, two good-looking guns there. We also get two little shuriken here, just done in a dark gray. Still throwing stars for him. And we get his signature weapons, the katanas. They look quite good. See the blades done in a nice silver, some nice coloration there on the handle. And these swords are plastic, but they do look quite nice. So we get those. And we also get a mini Leonardo, or as I like to call him, Lil Nardo. That's right. But you can see just a nice little version there of Leonardo. He does have his katanas there that store on his back, and you can't pull these out. This one's a little bit snug, but pull those out, and he can hold them in his hands. They just plug right in, so you can slash up some foot. Yeah, nice little Leonardo, a little Nardo. But as far as articulation goes, the hands can rotate just on a ball joint, can move in and out very slightly. Legs can move forward, back not too far, knee joints, and that is pretty much all you get for articulation there. Oh, also, and the head can rotate as well. That's all you get for Lil Nardo. And the big accessory you get, and this is why the box is so big, is you get this big display base here. This base of displays, this big old hanger diorama going on here. And all of this comes apart, and you can configure this pretty much any way you want. This is a configuration that they show you in the instructions. I'll show you another one later when we get to the alt mode, but you can basically do what you want here. All of this comes apart, but a really nicely done, very big display base here. You got the little catwalk going on. Very cool. You get these big old arms here, which are on some hefty ratchets here. So you can pose those like that. You also have these claws that can rotate, can open and close, so you can do what you want there. Again, all of this comes apart, so you can pop these off, and you can, take these. There's multiple ports all over this thing, so you can basically plug anything you want, wherever you want, really. And you also have these sections here for your weapon storage, and you can just have the guns there, take the swords, drop them right there, and there you have your storage. Hooray for storage! And you also get 4 of these pieces right here, and these just sit right here. And these are to facilitate the connecting of the bases. If you want to line them up as we get more, you can do so with the use of these. And you also get 2 of these, and these will connect to Leonardo's shell, so we can get some extra displays. They give you 2 of them, even though you only need 1, but hey, I'll take an extra, why not? Spare parts. I'll take them. Now, to use this connector piece, what you're going to do is you're going to take this section of the shell and just remove it. And you need to separate these 2 halves. Now, this half tabs over this half, so you basically just want to push this up, and that will allow you to split the 2 halves. And just swing that out. Then you take this and just wedge it right here, and that will just sit up like that. And then you can just connect all this back together, get that all in place, take the section of the shell and pop that back where it was, and there you have everything nice and set up. And then you want to take the beefier arm here and just connect this like so, and you can connect this wherever you want on the base. You can get some jumping actiony poses there, and you can see this is a beefy ratchet joint. This will hold them up just fine. So you have that display option there, and as always, options are good. Or you can just have Lil Nardo chilling there with his big turtleneck, and that alone makes for an awesome display in my opinion. But again, options, they're good. Now, as far as storage goes, the katanas can store in the shell. They just drop in right here on either side, like so. And as far as the blasters, you can store a shuriken on the blasters here, and they just plug onto that peg there, and then you use this tab. It'll go into the slot right here, and there you have all of your weapon storage. Hooray for storage! And of course, you can have him wielding his weapon so he can pew pew hack hack some forts. And another cool feature we have here is that Leonardo can actually pilot his turtle mech, and we can open up the chest. And we need to talk about this for a second because this is too cool. There's like a legit cockpit in here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there's like little consoles there on the sides, and in the back you can see there's screens that are painted in and everything, and that's cool. There's a legit cockpit in there. And you take a Leonardo and you kind of just bring his legs up. It takes a bit of fiddling to kind of get him seated in here, but it is doable. There we go. We got him in there. It takes a bit of fiddling, but it is doable. But there you have Leonardo, or Leonardo, in there piloting his turtle mech. You can just close that right up. That's pretty cool. And the last thing to show off, I can't actually show off because we're continuing my string of having bad luck with electronics. But his eyes do light up. There are two screws in the back of his head here. Right there. You undo those two screws, take the head apart, take the battery compartment out, and it will take two SR521SW batteries, which are not included. You have to get those yourself. And you put them in, and there is a button on the back of his head. You push it, and his eyes would light up. I put the batteries in, and they didn't work. I switched them around to see if I just had them in the wrong way. It didn't work. The eyes did not light up, so... yeah, continuing my bad string of bad luck with electronics, but, you know, if it works, the eyes will light up. So there you have that, and now for comparison. Here he is with MP44 Optimus Prime, just so you can see how that works out. Here he is with our official transforming Ninja Turtle here, Party Wallop. So you can see how they look side by side. And here he is with Heat Boy's non-transforming Leonardo. So you can see how they look together. Now, one thing to note, the MechaTran's Leonardo, I don't think has any die-cast in it. If there is, it's very little. Now, granted, the non-transforming version has a lot of die-cast in it, so this is quite hefty. This has some legit weight to it. But this one, honestly, is no slouch. It still has some heft to it. It's just not in die-cast. But again, if there is die-cast in it, I don't think there's a lot. I can't actually tell if there's any actual die-cast in this. I'm not sure. But still, the MechaTran's Leonardo does have some heft to it, just not as much as the non-transforming one. So, there you go. So that is basically it for the robot mode, and it looks quite good. Just a big beefy turtle bot here. Now one issue I do have is with the knee joints. The top knee joint is pretty snug, but the bottom knee joint is a little looser than I would like on both sides. So he kind of has a tendency to want to kind of fall back. I remedy that by just angling his legs out a bit, and that kind of keeps that from happening. Could just be a case of just popping these knee pads off, and there's probably a screw there I can tighten to tighten that up, snug that up some. But yeah, that's one issue I had with him right out of the box. But otherwise, pretty good, pretty solid. But now, let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's. So the first thing we need to do is remove a couple pieces. What parts forming? Shh. It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. So we need to take this section here and pop this off, put that off to the side, take this section of the shell and just pull that down and put that off to the side. And we will be using those later. While we're here, we can take these two halves and just disconnect them. Again, this half is tabbed over this half, so lift this bit up and that will disconnect them, and you can just open those sections up. Then you want to take these sections of the shell and just rotate these down. Then you want to come here to the midsection and you want to pop these sections up. Get in there. You may need a tool because pretty secure connection. So bring that all the way forward. Get up under here. And there we go. Pop that up and just bring that all the way forward. And once you've done that, you just want to grab this whole section here and just pop this up. So now you want to take the arm and just pull it out. So pull this out as you're rotating the arm. So just swing this out, swing that out, take the arm, and just swing that out as you're rotating the arm out. And then you want to take these sections here, they are tabbed into this panel, so just pick them up a little bit and just swing these out as well. Pick that up and just swing that out. At this point now, you're just going to untab these side sections here. So just give it a tug, pull that out, give that a tug, and pull that out, and free all of this up. And if you want to, at this point now, you can just undo this whole armature here that's folded up. That'll just kind of free things up, just give you some more room to work. So now that I got the arms in place, we want to bring this down and get the shoulder pad out of the way. So what you want to do is you want to bring the arm up and you want to rotate the joint so this section of the joint, where it looks like a T, is facing up. Once you do that, also, one other thing I have to talk about, a little QC issue is they forgot to put the screw there. It's okay. His arm actually stays on just fine, which is funny. His arm hasn't fallen off yet, but anyway, yeah, they forgot to put the screw there. A little QC problem there, but it's okay. But anyway, what are we doing here? So what you want to do is you want to have that T facing you, and then you are going to, again, get the shoulder pad out of the way. You want to rotate the arm, and then rotate this up, and rotate this down. So basically, we're going to end up with a configuration like this, and bring the shoulder pad up like that, and you just want it looking like that. Once you have done that, you want to, actually you want the shoulder pad right here, over the hinge, like that. Because then all this gets swung in, and we want to rotate the arm at the bicep, and we want to just bend the bottom joint here, and then make sure his fist is balled up, and then just take the hand and bring it down like so, and you want it looking like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And the second verse was just like the first, and once you have that done, you can just take the elbows here and just tab them together, and you have that going on. And once that is done, you just take this assembly here, and you want to bring the shoulder pads up as well, because we need room for his head. So bring this down, and these panels are just going to tab in right here, so we may have to open this up just a bit, just so we have our clearance. And then just get that tabbed in, and get that tabbed in, like so. So now we're going to start working on these chunks right here. So you want to take this section and bring this down. You want to take this section and just swing it out. This section is on a double hinge, so you just want to bring it down and just straighten that out like so. You want to take this green section here and just rotate that out, and then rotate this section down. Then you want to take this panel here, just bring it down as far as it will go, and open this up and swing this section out, and then bring this section up, and we have that done. And then you want to take this panel here with the logo and just rotate it down. You might want to move this out of the way just so you have your clearance, and just swing that down and then push that in until it is sitting flush. And we have this section all done. Second verse is just like the first. So there we have both sides done. So now you want to just kind of swing this wheel assembly out. You want to rotate the wheel down. You have this section here. You're going to flip up. You have this little panel right here that you're going to rotate out. And what you want to do here is you basically want to kind of swing this in at an angle. So all this tucks underneath this panel here. And you have a little lip that will sit over this notch. And then this section right here just kind of goes over under and interlocks. So you have that sitting right there like that. And then you can just bring this in and sit that there like so. And again, second verse is just like the first. And there you have both halves done. And once you have that, these wheel sections are going to tab over these tabs right here. So just line it up and get that all nice and squozen, and we got that done. And now you want to take these sections here and just untab them, and they will sit over this tab right here. Just line it up and just push that on. And second verse, just like the first, just untab, bring that down, and that will sit right there. And there we have the back pretty much done. And now we can take these sections and just rotate them up. That's where they're going to live. Now we can start working on the legular region. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is take this entire lower body assembly and just rotate this around. We're going to take these sections here and just rotate them up and bring them down. These will end up being the seats. And now to get all of this transformed up, first thing you want to do, you can bring the toe down just so you have access to this. This little blue section here and this little connector piece, just want to untab that and just bring that up and then just swing that in. That'll just sit right there. You can then swing this bit up, just get it out of the way. You can see this section here is kind of sitting in a notch, so just swing that down, get that out of the notch. You can then undo this and take all of this, wheel and all, and just bring this out to the side as I bump the camera. Sorry about that. And this is on a slider, so just slide this wheel section up as far as it will go. You can take all this and just kind of swing it up and get it out of your way for now. Okay, so now we're going to work on this section here. Now, one thing to note, because some people have been breaking the feet off, if anything here in the ankles, in the feet, feel too tight, there are screws here you can loosen. If this is feeling too tight, loosen that screw. Loosen that screw, loosen that screw. There's a screw underneath the foot. If this is too tight, loosen that screw. That could alleviate the problems. And that pretty much applies to any part of this figure. If there's anything that feels too tight and there's a screw there you can loosen, then loosen it. But anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the foot and we're going to rotate it around. So it is sitting like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this panel up here. So flip this up and the toes will come back with it. And you basically just kind of want to rock this forward as you're rocking this back just to get it all sitting nice and straight like so. Then take this heel piece, unclip it, and just rotate it up so it's sitting right there. So just leave this up just so you can see what's happening. So what's going to happen now is we're going to take the foot, take this whole ankle assembly and swing it in. What's going to happen here is there's this post right here. It's going to end up in a port right here, in this port right there. So that's what's going to happen. That's where you need it to go. So you just rock this up as you're rocking the foot down and just bring it up and over. And it should sit right there, just like that. Then you can take the foot and bring it back. Once that's done, you can take all this, bring it down, just straighten this a little bit out, and this will tab into the side right here, tab into the side, and then this panel will just tab into the back and just clip in back there like that. And you got that done, and second verse is just like the first. And there we have both sides done, so now you just want to make sure that these legs are perfectly straight, so bring them in as far as they will go, so they're nice and straight. So now what's going to happen is we need to just raise this up because we need to rotate the legs up. And the easiest way to do that is just put your thumbs right here on this panel, grab the legs, and just push down and pull up at the same time, and just get that all sitting nice and flush right there like that. And now what you want to do with the knees is you want to bend the knees up at the top hinge here until the leg is sitting nice and parallel to the seat. So you basically want it like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Just bend that top hinge up until that is sitting nice and parallel with the seat. And now you want to bring in this piece right here in this orientation, and you have slots on either side for these two tabs. So you just get it on one side and get it on the other side. Also, tab slot connection right here as well. So just push that all in, and there you have the front of the van. So now it's time to get all of this into place. You want to make sure that these panels are sitting over all of this. If they're not, just use these hinges here and just kind of get everything wiggled out. So you're just going to drop all of this down, and once you have everything in place, it should just drop right in, and you'll end up with these sections going over these tabs right here. So get that lined up and tab that in, and get that lined up and tab that in. Get everything seated like that. There's also tabs that go into the hips as well. So you get everything lined up, everything should just drop right into place, all nice and flush-like, and look like that. And usually this step is done for you when you get the legs in place, but in this case it wasn't done for me, but you just have these little posts here that'll just tab into the top of the roof on the other side, so just pull this up a little bit and just pop that in. There you go. And then you can take these sections here and just drop them down, and just snap those into place. And I just want to get these roof sections into place, so just push that in. There's a little hook tab right in there, so you just kind of pop that in. And just make sure everything is staying where it needs to. Pop that in. Make sure that this piece is going behind this section here. So again, use those hinges at your disposal and just work everything in. Come on. Work with me. Work with me, I said. There we go. There we go. Let's get that all popped in like that. And we're getting to the home stretch here, so you just want to come under here. You can grab these panels that'll help you pull the windshield down and then rotate around. There are tab slot connections right up here, so you just line it up and just drop that in. And the windshield's going to sit in front of this section here, and then you want to push them back. So again, you're doing kind of an over-under deal. Just kind of push that back, and that will sit there like so. And you got your windshield situated. And then you can just take the doors and just bring them back. And bring them back. There you go. And then we just take the spoiler, unfold it, and then rock it back. Little tabs and slots back there to hold that in place. We bring in this section here that we took off of the shell. There's this little poster you need to flip down. You may need a tool to help you get that out. There you go. Flip that down, and that will plug in right up top, like so. And I think we're done. Are we done? Yes, we're done. Woo, we're done. And there you go. There you have Leonardo in his alt. But he doesn't spin. You can't spin him, though. But there he is in his alt mode. And it's a big old beefy armored turtle van, and I think it looks quite cool. Personally, in my opinion, I dig it. I dig it. I like it. The transformation does have its fiddle factor, but it's nothing too bad. I mean, once you know what you're doing, you can get him transformed up with, you know, with little effort. Again, a little bit of fiddle factor, but nothing to a frustrating degree, and it all comes together pretty nice and solidly. So yeah, good looking turtle van here. But that's getting close, yes, we can take a look at the details. We have the headlights up front. Of course, we have some visible screws there, but oh well, it is what it is. But still, you got some gold right there. You got the trans clearance windshield going on. No windows, but at least you have the windshields. You got some nice silver there for the rims. You do have windows here on the side on this section. Ninja Turtles logo, because branding, why not? Again, more silver going on. And yeah, there's gonna be some paint scuffing. It's kind of unavoidable. There's just some parts that have no choice but to rub up against other parts, so you're gonna get some paint scuffs. It's just, yeah, that's a case where they need to work on their clearances so we don't get the scuffing here. I mean, it's minimal. I didn't get too much scuffing. I've seen people get some scuffing here on these hinges, but I don't really see too much, like a little bit right there. But yeah, there's just going to be some parts where you're going to get a little bit of paint scuffing just because of, you know, the lack of clearance you have. But you know, it is what it is. That's something they need to work on. They need to work on their clearances, but for the most part, pretty good engineering here. You see the back there, you got the back windows, and you have Leo right there in the back, so you know who's driving, whose ride this is. But overall, a pretty nicely done turtle van. It doesn't roll as rolling things should, unfortunately. The back wheels roll pretty well, but these front wheels, especially this one, is like super snug. This one's a little better. This one rolls okay, but this one is like super snug, so we don't get as smooth a roll as we would like, but it kinda rolls. And for comparison, here it is with MP44 Optimus Prime. So again, you can get a sense of size here in the alt mode. And here he is with Party Wallop, which is obviously a more cartoon version of the Turtle van. So you have a toon version and a more like, you know, Mad Max armored version going on here. A turtle van of two worlds. But you can see how that works out, so there you go. Now, as far as the weapons go, you can store them on the alt mode. You can take the shuriken if you want, and there are posts right here. You can plug these right there if you want to. Me, personally, I just leave them on the guns, but as always, your toy, display however you wish. But you can take these and plug these onto either side right there. Now, for the katanas, you have this clip right here. You're going to flip up. And then you're going to take the sword with the narrower part facing up and just slide it through, and then just bring this clip down over it, like so. And second verse, of course, is just like the first, so raise up that clip and just feed that through, and then just close the clip over it. And that'll hold it in place nice and securely, and there you have your storage. Hooray for storage! Now, as far as Leonardo goes, you can open up the door, and you do have to flip up the toes here and get those out of the way, but you can see Leonardo. There is a little tab here you want to flip down from his shell, and there's a slot in the seat. And again, this takes a little bit of doing, but it's doable. Just get him worked in there. And there he is, planted in there, and he does hold in there pretty securely, and you can just close up the door, and now he can go save some people from some foot. Woo! And you can have the display base in this configuration right here if you want, and that's a pretty dang cool display right here, in my opinion. But again, you can do whatever you want with the display base. But it definitely makes for an awesome little set piece here, and I do quite dig it, so there you go! So there you have the MechaTran series Leonardo from Heat Boys, and yeah, a pretty nicely done figure, not without its issues. The paint scuffing is pretty much unavoidable. It's just a case of lack of clearance, so parts are just gonna rub, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So that is definitely something they need to work on for their future releases in this series. My copy anyway, I can't speak to everyone's copy, but my copy has slightly loose knees. But that could be fixable. I'll have to investigate and take them apart and see what's going on there. The light-up eyes on my copy don't work, but I'm not going to harp on that too much because I don't use the lights anyway, but still would have been nice if they worked. The transformation is not bad. It's an involved transformation, yes, but it's not a nightmare transformation. Definitely not. There is some fiddle factor, yes, definitely some fiddle factor, but nothing to a frustrating degree. Once you know what you're doing and you have the steps down and the order of operations down, you know, you can get him transformed back and forward, you know, relatively easily, but there's still going to be a little bit of fiddling you're going to have to do. So not the smoothest transformation, but not a nightmare transformation by any means. So while yes, there is definitely room for improvement here, I am very happy with this figure. I am very pleased with it, and I am very much looking forward to the future releases in this line. So there you go. Now I got this from bombusbee.net. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below so you can check that out. You can also check out the Ninja Turtles playlist for any reviews you may have missed. Also linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it. So don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love, Peace, Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Heat Boys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles MechaTran series Leonardo. And this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face.